Hello Patriots, another video here, another expose, another investigative piece that I'm doing here. Number one, I want to thank you all for the wonderful comments that you've been placing on all the videos. I do get a chance to read some of them and reply to some of them, but not all of them. When a video takes off and does 240, 50,000 views, it's pretty hard to keep up. When one does 70 or 80,000, I can go back later and try to catch up to it. But I want to do this report, and I want to start by saying this. If this story was about a Jewish rabbi, I would cover it. If this story was about the Pope, I would cover it, and I've covered those things in the past. If this story was about Muslims, I would cover it. If it's about anybody, any denominational, any sect, any religion, and they're hurting children, you're damn right I'm going to cover it. So I don't want anyone to be offended because of what I'm covering. All right, here it goes. The governing body of the Jehovah's Witness is accused of maintaining a secret database of child molesters. How sick is that? An entire database of child molesters. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, which serves as the official head or governing body of the Jehovah's Witness organization, has repeatedly paid millions upon millions of dollars in court fines and assessments and settlement fines over many, many years, rather than unsealing and opening up the books of its files containing the names and addresses of alleged pedophiles, child abusers, and child molesters. What's even worse is that they refused to share this information and these allegations of abuse, these documented reports. They have refused to share it with law enforcement. So in other words, they are hiding this information internally and quote-unquote taking care of it internally, which means they're just allowing it to continue. All right? Now, the database, according to witnesses that have seen it, is hundreds of thousands of child molesters. Hundreds of thousands. As a matter of fact, the estimates range between 18,000 and 23,000 alleged child molesters. According to the Watchtower, it has a, quote, two-witness rule. This is crazy. Listen to this. Derived from their teachings, which dictates that, quote, no Jehovah's Witness can be accused of committing a sin, including child molestation, without two credible witnesses who can corroborate the accusations and allegations, unless the alleged perpetrator confesses to the crime. That's what it actually says. This is their doctrine, okay? Just so you understand this. Now, to me, this sounds very similar to Islamic doctrine, to be quite honest. I mean, when a woman accuses a man in Islam of raping her, they need like 4 or 5 witnesses. And if none of the 4 or 5 witnesses will corroborate the events taking place, then she's caned, or she's stoned to death, or acid is thrown in her face, or she's chastised or beat up or punished or whatever it might be, possibly even killed, okay? That's what this stuff sounds like right here. So what are they basically saying? You need 2 people. Okay, so what is this? Like no one's going to get in trouble until what? Until there's a threesome? Or what is it? We need to have a lookout person, like a bank robbery? And that third person is supposed to be the witness? This is unbelievable that this is going on. Now, here's what else is interesting. This is not their first accusation. Their accusations have been going back 20, 30 years, starting all the way back even in the 1980s. In 2014, the Watchtower paid out $35 million to a victim of alleged abuse in Montana. And this woman came forward years later, got a lawyer, and sued them. And long story short, a jury found them guilty. She was paid out $35 million. In 2012, they paid out another $28 million for a young boy who accused one of the elders of abusing him since he was 7 years old. And then in 2010, they were forced to pay out again $13.5 million. That's just 3 examples. There are literally dozens upon dozens and dozens of examples of child abuse. In every case, the victim won in court, and a jury granted them and gave them money in compensation. So imagine that. You have this organization, Jehovah's Witness, and I'll be honest, I mean, they've come by my door in the past, and you know, the people that came by seemed okay. You know, they handed out their little pamphlets and flyers and tried to get me, a Jewish person, to, you know, convert to Jehovah's Witness or whatever. And, you know, I was polite and said I was just not interested. Okay? I've also had Mormons come over to the house and try to convert me. I'm okay with that. But the bottom line is, and I'm not pinpointing the Jehovah's Witness, I have done numerous stories on other religions. And believe me, if I found out that a rabbi, me being Jewish, if I found out a rabbi was molesting a little boy or a little girl, you're damn right I'd bring up the story. So I don't want anyone to accuse me of going after this group in particular. I'm a truth seeker and a truth teller, and where I find the stories, I go. And if there's a nasty story about the president, well, unfortunately, because I'm a truth seeker and a truth teller and not beholden to anyone's best interest, I will cover that story as well.